to how it could have. But the good news today is that we're having the conversation, and I'm glad that you brought up a conversation so that she could tell me exactly what she wanted. But we're going to continue to find a happy medium so it can be a win-win situation.
Alicia, from your experience just now, do you believe that you'll be having more conversations with her as time goes on?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. And like I said, certainly since she's made it a point to announce it over a webinar, yeah, we don't have a choice but to have more conversations about this. And it's such a good thing because now is the time to talk about it. It's not the time to discuss it, you know, when the Christmas Eve parties and Christmas Day and all the events are before us. The better time to plan and talk about it is now, because we can't go in the door together, you know, now you better not eat so much, you know, well, no, I want to eat, it's the holidays, you know, we can't do that. We need to have the conversations now. So I believe that in the next up and coming weeks, we certainly are going to talk more because, like anything, you have to have a reminder. We may have a conversation, but sometimes we have to revisit it. Now remember that, you know, we had this discussion, and I'm trusting you, but, you know, just to say, you know, I'm just reminding you that we're going to keep our commitment to one another. So, yeah, I anticipate that more conversations, Coach Stephanie, are going to happen even after we get off this webinar.
Now, Alicia, do you believe, as you were having the conversation, was it uncomfortable that you kind of put your body over there as a separate entity? How did that feel to see her as like a whole person, even though we know we're one?
Yes, we are one, and the separation, we're not estranged from one another. I think there's a huge difference there, but we kind of have to separate to come together collectively, because I need to be able to hear what she's saying, and she's actually nudging me right now like, yes, that's right, I agree. I need to be really listening and tuning into what she's saying. If I'm so focused on me and then starting to just think of her as, okay, we're this one, then I could drown her voice out by my voice. So that's where, for me, the separation and having this conversation right now is very beneficial, because though we are one, you know, we both are still operating to conquer the wholeness for ourselves, but I have to be able to hear her voice. And keep in mind, I want the listeners also to know that she talks, but she doesn't always rule, you know. We are pretty balanced.
Well, what happens when she does decide to rule?
Oh, well, then when she does decide to rule, now I have to admit sometimes she has her way, and vice versa, sometimes I get mine too. You know, like I said, again, we're in relationship together. So, you know, we sometimes try to have our little inner battles, but again, we come together and we do have the conversations, because the conversation is very important. She's not going behind a door shutting it, and I'm going to shut one either, because we're obviously we're together, but we still have to honor one another, and that's something recently that I'm trying to practice more, is that we're trying to practice more, is honoring one another by having more conversations.
Well, Alicia, you've inspired everyone on the call to start having those conversations, and thank you so much for raising your hand.
Yes, thank you so much. That was really wonderful.
Well, thank you. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Okay, I'm going to mute you back out here then. And Steph, you kind of skipped a little bit there, so I'm going to draw your attention back to the 3 steps. So while we're going to go to this conversation now, what are the 3 steps that we need to do?
Well, again, when I just had a brief moment with Alicia, we just named her Body Alicia. But as we are in the retreat before and after the holidays, we will name your body, so it makes it easier for you to really have a secure relationship and identity with her. Then we'll go to the conversation, and then the most fun part is what I call the body knowledge dance, which really brings everything together.
Great, great.
And
now,
you don't have to be a dancer to do the dance.
And some of us, are just not as in tune with our body as Alicia is, and so forth. So what can you do to kind of promote that conversation?
Well, again, look at her. Great question, Deanne. Look at her like a real friend. I mean, if I came to your house and I said, you know what, I really would like to lose a couple pounds, and can you just put the chocolate somewhere else? I believe you would do that for me, wouldn't you, Deanne?
Sure.
So you would help me like a friend, so that's what I would love for you to have, an attitude adjustment and a consciousness with knowing that your body is your friend for life, literally.
Great. Well, and I know one thing that we had discussed, too, is that sometimes, if you're just sitting there and so forth, the answers don't seem to come. You just don't get that conversation going. So sometimes walking around a room even would help promote that conversation, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. Have you taken this course before?
No, but we have discussed that. It's when we're doing things. Yep, I'm putting it into practice. So, but now as far as the holidays and that, it's beyond that. We're going to start having these conversations so that we have in tune with our bodies throughout the year. Correct?
Yes, what's so wonderful about this practice, it is a practice, so you can apply it to anything that's going on in your daily existence. It's how you eat with your body, how you move, how you do your work or your career with your body, how you create relationships. But I really found it to be very important during this time of year just to focus on eating, because that's where I believe most of my clients and colleagues have the most challenges.
So would you say that we should definitely have these conversations, like Alicia had said, way before we get to the party?
Yes, because again, probably while you're in the car driving, you definitely want to have a conversation. And strategize. Okay. And the two of you will come up with something concrete as you're going to the party so that the emotional eating is less and the both of you go home very, very happy.
Great. Great. Okay, let me see if there's any questions. You can raise your hand or you can type them into the chat area. So I'll give you just a moment to do that, and we'll ask Stephanie a few more questions, but I'll come back and look. There's no questions at the moment, but we'll check back in here in just a second. So,
I think everybody's busy having conversations with their body.
There you go. So well, the great thing is that this is individualized. Not everybody is going to react to situations and emotions of the holidays the same. So you get to do it your way, right?
Absolutely. And again, part of the retreat will have to do with what I call my body knowledge styles, where you get to create your strategy your way between you and your body, and that equals success. And it's sustainable because you're always doing it your way. You're not doing it my way, you're doing it your way.
Great.
It's fascinating.
Okay.
Very effective.
All right, let me see if there's any hands up or if there's any questions in the chat area. One of the questions is that if they decide to go to the retreat and that, will they be able to contact you afterwards as a follow-up? Is that included?
It's included during and after, and whoever signs up, I will give the specific. But I will be with you on a personal level as well as within the group.
Okay, great. So one of the tips that they can take away today is really have that solid conversation before they go out to the holidays and so forth, so they kind of have a plan, right?
Have a plan, and again, the strategies will get more clear during the retreat with other tools to help you, but again, starting right now, you can have, your body is there with you, you can have that conversation and have a good time with it.
Okay, and here's the information again about the pre-holiday teleseminar and the post-holiday, because we always want it before and after and keep on track, right?
Keep on track.